Hello everybody, this is Mrs. Grausen. Welcome to Unit 5, Lesson 2. Today we're going to divide by a two-digit number, and our learning target is I can divide by a two-digit divisor. So the divisor, remember, is the number that you're dividing by. It's out over here. This is a one-digit divisor. If I put a 7 out here, now it's a two-digit divisor. All right, before you get started here, let's make sure you've got your multiplication card or chart, pencil, paper, lots and lots of paper, and a big eraser. Here we go. All right, I know this is a little blurry, but I think you can see it. We're going to divide 324, that's our dividend, by the divisor 54, and our answer is going to be the quotient. So same steps as we did yesterday. In fact, you might want to put those off to the side somewhere or up at the top. I'm going to run them right down the side. Does McDonald's sell cheeseburgers? So D is for divide, M is multiply, S is subtract, C is compare or check, and B is bring down. So we're going to use those same steps, only now we've got slightly bigger numbers to divide. So say you've got 324 of something and you want to divide it into groups of 54. We're going to go through the same process. Now, who knows their 54s? 54 times 1, 54 times 2, 54 times 3? Probably none of you. I mean, some of us could probably do 54 times 2 in our head, but let's be realistic. Nobody memorizes their 54s. So we're going to have to do a little bit of work off to the side, and I would suggest that off to the side you set up a spot where you can try some different 54s and kind of be a little bit organized about how you do them. All right, so let's take a look at this, and there's a couple of ways you can go about doing this. First of all, let's figure out where to start. If we have 54, can we divide it into 3? No. 32? Nope. If we have 32, we can't give, if it's 32 pieces of candy, we can't give them each to 54. 324? Yes. So I like to put a little X like above the number where I'm going to start. So my digit's going to be right up there above the 4. And I have to figure out how many 54s will go into 324. Now, I don't know my 54s. I could just randomly try some different numbers. That's one strategy. So some people might try 54 times 5, a really big number, and if it's too big, then they go lower and they try 54 times 4, 54 times 3, till they find one that works. Other people will do a little different technique, like your textbook shows, and that is they round this number. So they round it to 50. So if you look at your textbook, on the problems that they first show you, they show you a rounded number under here. So that's just to figure out what number could go up here. It's not going to be the exact number. So it's a little confusing for kids, but to figure out a good estimate for how many times 54 is going to go into 324, we're going to say how many 50s would go into it. So think about your 5s. Maybe even round this just to 5. Okay? How many 50s will go into 300? How many 5s will go into 30? And I'm hoping that you're thinking about 6. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to do 54 times 6. And we're looking for a number that is going to be either exactly 324 or smaller than 324, not bigger. So I'm over here, I'm doing this 56 times 4. 6 times 4 is 24. Bring my 2 up. 5 times 6 is 30, plus 2 is 32. 324. Bam, it worked exactly. So I'm going to put my 6 up here. That's the dividing step. Remember, the next step is multiplying. So I'm going to multiply the 6 times the 54. We got 324. And if you can't remember, look back over to your spot over here. Subtract is the S. I get 0. Compare, this 0 has to be less than the 54, and it is. And then bring down. Well, there's no other numbers to bring down. There's a 0 here. I am done. My answer is 6. All right, please open up your textbook to page 213. And on page 213, there are 3 examples or 3 strategies for finding the answer to the same problem. And we just did the traditional way. They're calling that the digit by digit. I am not going to show you the expanded notation way, but I will show you the place value sections way, so sometimes called the box method. So if you like the box method with multiplying, you might like this way as well. I need a little longer problem than the problem that we just did to show you that. So turn your page now to the next page, and we're going to do this first problem together. Now, if you are a person who, I'd like you just to try this, the first way, the traditional way with me, and follow along with me in your textbook, writing the problem down like I am. Then I also would like for you to try the box method on another piece of paper, just so you get a little bit of experience. And again, it's really a good idea to have that does McDonald's sell cheeseburgers. Remember, it just kind of repeats itself over and over again. That might be a good idea to have that on your paper if you can't remember the steps too. All right, so this is the traditional way, and we're going to divide 4,032 by 79. And remember, we're going to figure out where we put our first number to begin with. So think about dividing something up into 79. If I have 4 of something, do I have enough to give it to 79 people? No, I can't divide 4 into 79. How about 40? If I have 40 of something, can I give it to 79 people? No. How about 403? For sure. Okay. Now, like you, I don't know my 79s, so I would set up my paper off to the side and I would do some 79s. Okay. Now, again, like I told you on that other problem, some people just choose random numbers and try to figure out what number, how many times 79 would go into 403. You might start with 5, and if it's too small, go bigger. If it's too big, go smaller. Your textbook shows you to round it like this. So you would round 79 to 80, I would think. And so think about how many 80s are going to go into 403. Or even, I do this, how many 8s would go into 40? 5, right? So I'm just going to try that 79 times 5 over here and see what happens. Remember that I'm looking to find a number down here, a product that is going to be smaller than that 403, or exactly equal to it. So here we go. 5 times 9 is 45. Bring my 4 up. 5 times 7, 35, plus 4, 39. Boy, look at those crooked little letters. I think I need to reset my smartboard. So 395 is smaller. So I'm going to put my number right above that 3. Yep, definitely we're off here. Put a 5 up here. That's my divide step. Next up, multiply. Now, this is where kids get messed up if they have estimated. We're not going to use that 80 or that 8 for multiplying. We're going to use the 79. So I'm going to go back over here to my side over here where it said 395, and I really just copy that down. Next step is to subtract. Oh, I've got to do a lot of ungrouping here. 3, 10, 9, 13. Can you even see my numbers anymore? Okay, just stop the video and pause if you need more time writing down. So I think if I've done my subtracting correctly, I get 8. So is 8 less than 79? Definitely. So now I'm going to bring down my 2. Remember my strategy? I like to bring down those 2s with the arrow so I know that I brought it down. Especially if you get a lot of numbers out over here. It's easy to lose track of which numbers you've brought down and which ones you have not. So now I'm working off the bottom. I'm going to say to myself, does 79 go into 82? If I have 82 of something, can I give it to 79 people? Yes. How many times? I think you can do this part in your head. How many 79s can you take out of 82? 1. Okay, 1. And then I know you can multiply that in your head. 1 times 79, 79. Ooh, scary smartboard. And then we're going to subtract. 12 minus 9 is 3. So that's my remainder. Okay, some of the kids that I work with down in the blue pod, they like to check their work on a calculator. And if you were to enter 4,032 and you divide it by 79, you're not going to get 51 remainder 3. You're going to get 51 point and then a whole bunch of other numbers. So using your calculator is not going to be a really great way to check your work. What you could do is you could do 51 times 79, and then whatever you get, add 3 to it, and you'll get 4,032. All right, now for the box method. Get your scratch paper. All right, you have noticed that I still have that Does McDonald's Sell Cheeseburgers up at the top. We're going to use a lot of those same steps, the first 3 steps, but after that, we're going to stop. Okay, we'll stop right there. So fewer steps in the box method. Now, depending on the size of your handwriting, if you were working on a textbook, you could just kind of make your box down like this. My handwriting is not that wonderful and neat and small, so I tend to have to use a big piece of paper and then I split my numbers out. So we're going to make a box like this on your scratch paper. You're doing this with me now. And leave the comma out. The commas just get confusing because kids think, oh, it's a decimal, or they just get messed up by it. So leave that comma out and kind of space your numbers a little bit. All right, now that you've got your box, again, if I'm going too fast, you just pause me and then pick it up when you're ready. So same process. Does 79 go into 4? Nope. 40? Nope. 403? Yep, that's going to be where I put my first number. Now, here's where it gets a little bit tricky. So I'm really dividing this 79 into really 4,000. Okay, I'm going to divide it into the whole number. Now, I'm going to use my work from before. Do you remember that it went in 5 times? I'm going to remember that from before. I'm going to put a 5 here, but I'm going to put a 0 here. I'm going to make it 50. Now, I'm going to multiply that 50 times the 79. So I'm really wishing I hadn't erased all my work, but if you remember, if you look back in your problem in the textbook, 5 times 79 was 395. Only now because I'm multiplying by 50, I have to add my 0 on the end. So I divided, I multiplied, now I'm going to subtract. Okay, 2 minus 0, and then again I still have to regroup here, and I still am going to get 82. Now, 82 can't be my remainder because I know I can take another 79 out of there. Watch what I do next. I make another box right next to the first box, and I put my 82 in that box. And now I'm going to divide the 79 into this box over here. How many times is 79 going to go into 82? 1 time. 1 times 79 is 79, and then I subtract, and I get 3. So remember, there's a little plus sign there. So my answer is 51, and then down below here, that's my remainder, 3. All right. Very good. I guess at this point, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to figure out if you want to do it the traditional way or if you like the box way. I'm going to start a new video, and in the new video I'm going to show you both ways, and maybe you want to try a couple problems and decide. The box method is kind of nice because you just keep going sideways and you don't have to work off the bottom. I don't know, maybe the traditional way makes more sense to you. I think you've got to decide which method you want. Let's do a couple more problems in the next video.